The scoreless streak is amazing in the fact that one, it is the longest current stretch in the majors, and it's just 1 2/3 innings short of Alex Cobb's team record.
You know what to expect from him. It's either 5 innings, 1 run, 4 innings, no runs. That's basically what he's going to give you.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
We're here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
So grab your favorite Rays gear and settle in as we discuss Drew Rasmussen's amazing scoreless streak that he's on, Junior Caminero being named AL Co-Player of the Week, and much, much more.
But first, we got to tell you that this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins.
All right. So we didn't have a chance in speaking with Evan Klosky to focus on the man of the hour, and that is Drew Rasmussen, who has quietly, maybe because there's been so many other dominant pitchers in the American League, he is on a roll. He's really been on a roll all season, but especially his last couple outings, he has extended his scoreless streak to 23 over his last 4 starts. On Tuesday, he pitched 5 dominant innings, allowing 1 infield hit, 8 strikeouts, and 0 walks. But the scoreless streak is amazing in the fact that, one, it is the longest current stretch in the majors, and it's just 1 2/3 innings short of Alex Cobb's team record with the Rays. So that brings up the ultimate question. Will Drew Rasmussen shatter the record of one of Ulises' favorite players of all time in Alex Cobb, the Cobbinator?
Well, I would say first look at the opponent, and if I'm doing my math right, does he get a Marlins start? Because if you got that 1, 2, 3, 4, he might get Sunday's game.
That would be ideal.
So if he's able to get Sunday's game, can the top of the order plus of the Miami Marlins bring any sort of damage to Drew Rasmussen? Sure, of course, they could score 5 on him. But if I had green Skittles to put on that's not going to happen, and he will actually break it, I would put the green Skittles on that he'll break it, because he has become, and it's fun to go back into 2021 and when that trade happened. He has always been so stable for the Rays in production.
Yes.
And by that, I mean, like, you know what to expect from him. It's either 5 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 2 runs, 4 innings, no runs. That's basically what he's going to give you. Those 3 scenarios are what he's. So, yeah, are there cons there that against the length? Yes. Obviously, we know about the multiple surgeries, but the output, the production that he gives you, the value, the stability, it's really unreal. And I believe, Kevin, if there wasn't a guy named Max Fried in the American League, you would be looking at the American League starter for the All-Star game.
Yeah, I will be transparent and frank. There are several good candidates for that spot in that role, and presently Max Fried is taking the cake on that one. And it would be such an amazing story, one, if Rasmussen got that opportunity, but I'll even at this point just take an all-star berth, because what he has dealt with, 3 major elbow operations, missing most of the 2023 and 2024 season, and you hearkened on it for a moment there of when he has been on the field, when he has been on the mound, he has been dominant. You're not going to see an ERA above 3 from him when he's on the field. The key for him now going forward with the Rays is, can you give us 130, 140, 150, 160 innings? And hopefully we're working back to that point, or we eventually get to that point. I think in his time with the Rays, he's the most he's had in the season was around 140-ish, and then he got hurt that next year. So you hope that doesn't happen where he has a great year this year and then is on the shelf. I don't know how many more elbow surgeries a man can take before he has to say, all right, maybe I need to do the Rick Ankiel approach or something like that. But it really is a great story. And I don't know, maybe a little bit of a conspiracy theory here. Maybe I know the Rays had the raindrops and the delay on Tuesday game, but maybe it was also thinking, well, let's try to let him get this record for the franchise. What better way to do that instead of facing the Rangers order a third time through or whatever area they were at? Let's have him face the Marlins on a Sunday or on the weekend and face the order for the first time. I can't recall if would this be the first time that Rasmussen would be facing the Marlins this year? I honestly cannot remember. The Marlins are that unforgettable. I can't remember if the Rays have played the Marlins this year.
The Rays have played the Marlins this year, and we unfortunately the Rays lost that series.
That's right.
In Miami. I would have to check right now with me. So let's all go into a little trip down a game log here. He did pitch against the Miami Marlins on May 17th. He look at this. Guess what? He pitched 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, had 5 strikeouts, and no earned runs. Again, he has just been incredible. And you're looking at a guy that signed an extension.
Yes.
During the off season. So if you guys don't remember, he's going to get paid around $5.5 million for his last year of ARB next year in 2026. Then there's a club option for $8 million in 2027, and then in 2028 he would be a free agent. But there's escalators involved and all that. Which, hey, if you're doing so well, maybe you are going to earn a little bit more dough, given your accolades in 2025 and 2026, hopefully.
And he's signed to a bargain right now. I mean, for what he is producing in value, that's pennies on the dollar, half pennies on the dollar compared to what guys like Max Fried are making, and deservedly so. So the Rays have an amazing deal, but it's also a two-way street. You know, Raz doesn't provide any value if he's injured or off the shelf. So I think it was both parties coming together. Rasmussen had an opportunity to make several $1 million, more dollars than he's ever seen in his life, and hopefully he's able to get those escalators. And I would imagine it would be my guesstimation that it's a no-brainer to pick up that team option, unless the Rays have some inner working of, hey, we feel like we can get one of the bigger hauls we've ever, and you hope it would work out in that respect. But
even if you think that you can get that, you have to pick it up so that, you know, it incentivizes other clubs. But yeah, it's really a bargain. I mean, 5.7, 5 point something, payroll annual is 5.7, but the cash is 5.5. So let's go 5.5. That's nothing for the kind of production that you look at the names that are surrounding him, you know, with Nathan Eovaldi and Max Fried and Garrett Crochet. I mean, those guys are going to be making a lot of money, and you have a guy that's basically in the middle of arbitration, just giving you the same type of production. I mean, look at it. I just want to focus on his numbers a little bit. He's got already 63 innings pitched in 2025, a 2.14 ERA. The record is going to be 5-4, but we all know about the Rays offense. And the most important thing that I look at here is the WHIP, 0.87. You're not going to see a lot of traffic on the bases with him. He's not going to be shooting himself on the foot by walking guys. And you compare him with Garrett Crochet or Nathan Eovaldi. Like, I mean, it's pretty crazy what he's been doing this year. And I understand that there are other guys that are deserving, but my God, Drew Rasmussen is really showing after an other arm surgery that when the Rays targeted him, not only in the draft earlier when he was coming up, but with the Willy Adames trade, that they really nailed it. They really did.
And it's funny because you go back to that trade, and I feel like JP Fireeisen was the more well-known, established commodity, and Rasmussen, if we remember, he was just a reliever at that time. So the Rays had the foresight and the wherewithal, a guy with just two dominant pitches, that we feel like he can be molded into a starter. And now, lo and behold, he has 5 different pitches between the four-seamer, the cutter, the sinker, the sweeper, and the curve. Now, full transparency.
He's been a project. He's definitely been a project for the Rays to mold into this guy. Yeah.
Correct. And to your point, earlier in May, there were some articles and talks about, he's given up the long ball and given up some more home runs than usual. And that might have just been harkened back to a bad stretch. But on a general basis, he does do a great job of not walking guys, keeping the ball off the barrel, and inducing ground balls. And, one of the first things I looked at when I first saw Drew Rasmussen when he came to the Rays was that amazing fastball. That was 98, 99, 100. Maybe he's lost a touch or two on that, but he's still that fastball can still get blown by hitters, whether up in the zone or down in the zone. But I think what makes him really special is the ability to hit his spots on the edges in the corners where the catcher is asking for it. Hey, throw this breaking ball or this fastball down and away from a righty. He'll hit that spot. Hey, throw this pitch into a lefty. He'll hit his spot.
And even if he does hit his spot and Las Diaz is behind the dish, then it gets a little bit difficult. But usually he's going to get his strikes called.
Yeah, usually. Now, one thing that just anecdotally that you hope he's able to kind of shore up a little bit is he will get into some deeper counts, the 3-2 counts. So that might ultimately limit his innings. If you're having an inning where you're throwing 25, 28 pitches, whatever it may be. But he's definitely been one of the saviors of this rotation. And I think the defense plays off of that. And I think his fellow pitching mates play off of it as well. So I know as much of a fan you are of Alex Cobb, but we're in a new era. We need something to root for. We need something to be happy about. And I would be totally fine and appreciative if Rasmussen breaks that innings record. So that would be bated breath for those first inning and 2/3 on Sunday against the Marlins or whenever they play the Marlins there. So, all right, we have more to discuss, but first we have to tell the audience something very important that is next on the Locked On Rays podcast, your team every day. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. And FanDuel, they make it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have even more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And I know we're talking about basketball here, but let's also talk about baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays have a minus 142 odds to win against the Texas Rangers. And you can also go on FanDuel Sportsbook and check the odds to win the division, which are not so great, and win the World Series, which are not so great. But it could yield a big payoff if you go for either of those and make some cashola. And here's the thing about FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, it is the perfect time to sign up. You can head over to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. What happens is if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Again, $5. If you win, you get $200 in bonus bets. So with that, make every moment more with FanDuel. They are the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Ulises. So we talked about Drew Rasmussen and the run he is on. Another note here. Do you think I guess, scale of 1 to 10 or confidence level that the Rays would implement another contract extension with him, or they're kind of at this point going to play out the string because you really can't beat that deal of being signed through 2026 with the 2027 team option.
I think the Rays would love to do that. I think there's no way Drew does that anymore because I think, unless he has season ending surgery, which, knock on wood, that doesn't happen next year and for the rest of his career, right? But um, I mean, we saw a guy like Frankie Montas get $17-18 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, if I'm a sports agent, I should have that framed for every GM when I have any other player and be like, if they're willing to do Frankie Montas for 17 mil, here's Drew Rasmussen. Look at his numbers. Yeah, he might get hurt, but he's worth at least that type of
If Joe Blanton played in this era, all right, we'll give you 180, 190 innings and a 4.9 ERA. Yes, we'll give you a 9-figure deal because you're staying on the field and you're available.
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, I think if you're the Rays, you count your lucky stars in 2025, 2026. Hopefully the Rays keep being competitive so that the threat of him being shipped off is lessened by the day. But if the Rays keep kind of playing that 500 ball, you might be able to, unfortunately, see Drew Rasmussen being shopped around and for other teams. And his stay with the Rays might come to an end.
Yeah. All right. So we focused on him. Now we're going to focus. This is a positive episode. No Taylor Walls mentions. No Chris Morel mentions. Those are the mentions. I don't think we have to go any further than that. Junior Caminero was named American League Co-Player of the Week. I believe he tandemed Cal Riley for the honors this past week. And you might say, okay, well, yeah, it's Player of the Week. It's not Player of the Month. It's not Player of the Year, but it's still rarefied air if you're a Rays player, because Caminero, that is, of course, his first career award, and he is the first Ray to win that award since, you guessed it, Isaac Paredes accomplished it on June 27th, 2022. And, obviously he had an outstanding week against Houston, and the RBIs and the home runs and the doubles, the amount of hits, some of the feats, and I don't even know if we're going to go down and list all of them, but I just want to underscore what he is doing is being compared to, or things that have not been done since players like Ben Zobrist and Evan Longoria and Brandon Lau. Like he is doing things that those guys were doing or are doing.
But before we get to that, I do want to just make a little incision here. In 2022, Isaac Paredes wins Player of the Week honors. That's amazing. He had a great 2022 season with the Rays. 20 home runs, very cool. In the playoffs, he gets pinch hit for, you guessed it, Taylor Walls. Very nice. So that's the incision there. Let's keep going.
Yes. So Junior Caminero, he also had a home run in Tuesday's game. So he has 5 home runs in his last 6 games. He's up to 14 this year. And then that actually put me down in a little bit of a rabbit hole, if you will. Not saying Junior will ever be the type of player that Evan Longoria was, but I just wanted to compare the numbers that in Evan Longoria's rookie season in 2008 at the age of 22, and he was an all-star that year, he hit 27 homers, 31 doubles. He had a 272 batting average, 343 on base, 531 slug, and 874 OPS. Now, the on-base percentage, the on-base percentage, Caminero is not going to get that. The batting average, probably not going to get that, but he could, the pace he's on, he could get to 27 or more home runs this year. Now, he won't have the value that Longo was because of what Longo provided defensively. Longo was a 4.8 WAR player that year. But having said that, and again, I know it's small sample size and a snippet here and there. Caminero has made some highlight worthy plays defensively the last couple games, between barehanded throws and leaping catches and impressive moves and stops. So maybe he's getting a little bit more comfortable at third, or his offensive prowess is allowing him to thrive at that position, or vice versa. And I know there's still going to be issues, but we're seeing, some nice plays from him.
We're seeing nice plays from him. We've seen flashes of nice plays from Junior. I think it's almost sacrilegious to even be saying praising Junior Caminero's glove work when we have just mentioned the great Evan Michael Longoria.
I know. Yes, I did not mean to put them in the same
everybody
sentence.
just understand what we're saying.
Yes,
We've
I was
seen
more
nice
so
plays from
comparing
Junior.
the offensive, the home run and power numbers to what Caminero is doing at age 21.
I will say, though, the power has been incredible. The opposite power, Kev, is what impresses me, because Junior, he's a tall guy. He's not lanky by any means, but thick. You know that structure is going to fill up more. So with this pop at 21, and this is the sacrilegious part. He reminds me, and I've heard this from other people too, the opposite power looks a lot, and I'm not even going to say it because it is sacrilegious, but the opposite power from a right-handed hitter looks a lot like a very great first ballot Hall of Famer that played in Miami and in Detroit very recently. Like that just easy pop just to the other side, that doesn't come that easy. It's been rather difficult. And then when you look at the pitch location for his home runs, of course there's going to be meatballs. And you know what? Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani also have meatball types of home runs.
That's how you make a living in the bigs, is you capitalize on the mistakes. I mean, that's
exactly. But then you look at the ones that are not meatballs, and it's pitches out of the strike zone, like Vladimir Guerrero type of stuff out below the strike zone. It's really impressive what he's doing. I still have to be cautious just because of how much baseball we've seen. I cannot put this guy in any type of platform or podium right now. I just want him to just keep being healthy. That's the production's going to come. I know that. Right. But I know we talked about this, I think, like 2 weeks ago. Will he hit 25 home runs or more? You were very sure in the beginning. Then you started kind of like, dibble, but then you said, you know what? Yes, I will go over on the 25. It's looking really good right now. I want you to win that.
Thank you.
I'm still not going to, because it's a long season. A lot of things can happen, not even injury-wise, but he is a young guy. He's 21. The league is going to be working on finding out how to get him out.
Right.
And if you're looking at the lineup and you're the other team, it doesn't it look like Junior Caminero should be the guy that you're highlighting and being like, this is the guy that we don't let the Rays unfold.
Yeah, which is crazy when you have Brandon Lau on the roster and Yandy Diaz on the roster and Josh Lowe on the roster, and if you had Wander Franco on the roster as well. But Caminero, Jonathan Aranda as well. I think Caminero has double the amount of homers that Aranda has, believe it or not. But I think Aranda is more mature hitter. I'll just leave it like that. But Caminero definitely has the power edge as far as that's concerned. But it's funny that you mentioned a player that played in Detroit and Miami, because that's kind of what I see for Junior as far as the defensive pathway of going from third, going from first, and then being DH. And is he ever going to be that player? Not even going to mention his name. No, I will highly doubt it, and I would highly bet against it. But yes, we are seeing Vlad Guerrero-esque things, and we'll see. Fine, I'll throw it out there. Miguel Cabrera-esque things. I mean, the opposite home runs, like line drives too.
It's cannons. It's just like a missiles, just pow. Yeah. It's really incredible.
Yeah, and even his doubles, they're not traditional doubles. These are doubles off the wall. These are doubles if you gave him another 5 feet, or as the late great Dave Wells said, he ate another biscuit for breakfast, it would have been over the fence. So he probably, I mean, I'd have to look at his spray chart, but the amount of doubles off the wall, like depending on the ballpark it's in, he could have 17 or 18 jacks right now. And I think he's also making a concerted effort to attack early on in counts, whether it's 0-0, 1-0, 0-1, whatever it may be. And I don't think this can be discounted either, is the RBI machine and RBI production. With when runners are on, he's been able to take care of business in key spots. And that is revered for anybody, but especially a 21-year-old rookie.
You could add about 3 home runs to his tally when you look at his spray chart. There's like 3 doubles that look quite like home runs. So yeah, he's got tremendous power. Hopefully he keeps going. I want you to win that 25 over.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's just I want him just to stay on the field. If he stays on the field, the production is going to come. But he's a young guy, so hopefully this is just more to come. More of these awards to come.
All right. Well, we appreciate you listening. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. You can get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on the YouTubes or wherever you listen to those.